and they just couldn't convert into TDs.
Yeah.
But that's the name of the game.
Life, yeah.
Stugotz, they're terrible.
They're the fucking worst. Carl. They're the worst. Hey, Carl, listen to me. The Dolphins beat the Rams, okay? Huh?
I get it. You're right. Touche.
Listen, you have a Dodgers hat on, man.
I got a Ram hat in the room. I chose not to wear the Ram hat. I did. I thought about it.
No, but Carl, to your point, Carl, they're fucking garbage. They're the worst.
So have you given up then? Because they're 2 games out of the wild card.
So let me tell you something about giving up, okay? I'm 40 years invested in this thing.
You can't.
There's no way I'm giving up now. And while I was despondent towards the end of that game and thinking and actually discussing this on the air that I want to root for a new team, moments later, maybe an hour later, when I was back at the hotel room, I was checking out the Jets' path to the playoffs.
The schedule's nice, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, it was supposed to be nice in Arizona, and it wasn't.
Nice weather, though. Yeah.
It was nice weather.
Anthony Richardson back for the Colts this week.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Can't wait for him to run for $112.
I thought they already announced that it was going to be Flacco. They changed.
Wow, they took the revenge game away from Flacco, huh?
Yeah.
It's not good for my Josh Downs fantasy shares.
I am pissed at the Colts for doing that. Flacco had to beat Aaron Rodgers. That would really be the icing on the cake.
I mean, Anthony Richardson will run himself into an injury, so he still might have the opportunity. Is that a sauna behind you, Mike? You have your own sauna back there?
Cold plunge and sauna back there. That's the recovery strip right there.
How's the cold plunge?
It's good. It's I haven't actually with all my running around the last few weeks, I haven't got it back up and functioning just yet. But the pool's also sitting at about 55 degrees. So
there he is.
Did I hear you guys analyzing and discussing football? Do we still do that on this show?
You know what? Our apologies. Yeah, I don't know what got into us. You know, that's what happens when you guys aren't around. When you're not around, Mojo.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's very serious around here.
Right.
Is that a bad thing? Because, I mean, technically it's called God Bless Football, but if either Funk or I are on the show, obviously we're not going to be discussing football at all. We're just going to be insulting people the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's the way we like it. Don't change a thing.
It's funny you should mention him because I'm getting a little concerned because K-Funk is always the first one to arrive and he's always the one kind of rounding up the troops and he's nowhere to be found today, which we did have something planned for him that fell through. But regardless, I legitimately do not know where K-Funk is. I texted him, "Where are you?" And he hasn't responded. So I don't know what's going on with him today. I'm a little bit concerned. And here's the worst part about it. He actually had a winning week last week. The first time he's had one in about a month and a half. And he's not here to even celebrate it.
Well, I was wondering about that too, because I figured he would have came on to like talk trash or celebrate. I mean, I did give him a gift. I picked him winners. Now I didn't give him a 4-0 or a 4-1 or a 5-0 week. I made it the smallest margin of a winning week as I possibly could.
So you went Mojo, just so we're clear, you went into it trying to give him a 3-2 week so he can feel good about it, right?
Correct. That's exactly what was happening. I was actually starting to get concerned about his mental well-being. You know, I think that's something we were going to have to discuss on the show. But I figured it was time to give him a win, to make him a winner, because obviously he's incapable of doing that himself.
Right. That was very nice of you.
He's a great guy. What a great guy.
Yeah, I'm a great guy.
I feel like you giving him 3-2 is like the Jets win against the Texans, and I can't wait for him to get his ass kicked next week like the Jets did with the Cardinals. Like it's all just, here's a little bit of hope, here's a little bit of hope, let's just go ahead and snatch it away.
That pick really blew up in your face though, Mojo.
Yeah.
Remember you told me that me and my brother could kiss your ass, and you were getting revenge for me taking your 24/7 championship when we were in WWE. That really blew up.
Well, that goes back to my earlier point, Rallis. I mean, that was actually a double win for me because it allowed me to give Funk a win, which he desperately needed, but it also gave me the opportunity to bury you. So that was kind of like a double whammy for me.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it worked out for me, so.
Closing the gap, buddy.
Yeah.
Billy, what are the records right now for the season?
So Mojo's still in first place with a 607 win percentage. He went down a
Hey.
little bit. He had a 2-3 week, but he's still leading the pack here.
How about that? First place, and he gave K-Funk a week. I mean, amazing.
He
What
did.
a guy. What a guy.
Next amongst the regulars is Carl, who's 26-19-1. Had a 2-3 week also, but still has a 576 win percentage.
Uh-oh.
Now, shooting up the standings is Mike
boy.
Rallis, who now
Wow.
is one game under 500 at 17-18.
Wow.
He's past Share Bear. Share Bear is 21-28-2 with a 431 win percentage. And then K-Funk last week after his big 3-2 week jumped over Gordy. So K-Funk is 18-33-2 and Gordy is 18-31-2 at the moment.
Right. Well, poor Gordy.
He's a baseball guy.
Yeah.
Who, Gordy?
Yeah, he's the equivalent of when we had Jabba on the show for so long. I mean, you can't rip a baseball guy for not, making good football.
Oh, no.
trades.
I'm not ripping him. I love Gordy. And Gordy, listen, it doesn't matter if he loses this thing. Gordy's the big winner here. We all know that. I mean, it's Gordy or Carl. I mean,
So, guys, what do we do with today's episode? There's only 6 of us. We actually can hear each other speak. I mean, we could tell stories and have interactions. Like, this is we haven't had this since I think I first came on the show.
yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. Do you want to make your picks and just give K-Funk the opposite? What do you want to do here?
Are we going right into picks? I figured Mike Rallis had a good wrestling or football story for us that he could tell.
Mojo, I got to be honest with you. We're a little upset with Mike Rallis because his brother's defense fucked us in the ass, okay?
Oh.
Wow.
Take that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
No, I'm leaving it in.
All right.
I think what happens is his brother actually listens to this show.
Yeah.
And when we talk trash about his defense, that's when he makes sure that they give up like 2.5 points and just shut everything down. And when we praise him, he lets his foot off the gas. I think that's how he's been coaching the Arizona Cardinals. Is that right, Mike? Can you confirm that? I don't know if he froze or if he's just purposely not answering.
I see the breeze going behind him.
Did you hear what Mojo asked you?
Well, I did freeze for a minute there. I just heard you think that the theory is that my brother's listening to the show and that he's using it as bulletin board material to know when to really step the game up.
Yes.
Okay, so that could be the case. He doesn't respond to texts during season very often. So if he's got enough time to listen to God Bless Football and not even respond to me, we might have an issue. But it is the bye week this week, so we're chilling in Arizona a little bit. So I might go over and get a lift in with him later. But I'll run that theory by him. See if it was. I wouldn't put it so eloquently as Stugotz put it, but it was definitely an ass whooping last week.
Yeah. Thank you for cleaning it up for me. I appreciate it. Carl Douglas, you're going to ask something.
Mojo, what is that? That is a fabulous background. Is that your entire life story, man? Because typically you're walking around the house and shit. What is all of that?
This is the resume on the wall, also known as the wall of narcissism.
Yeah, right.
And this does my bragging for me, so I don't have to sell myself when I'm in these meetings.
Okay, fair enough.
But you'll do it anyways because you're.
We dropped the ball, Mike, because we talked about the fact that your brother was on a bye this week, and we talked about having him come on and join us this week, and then naturally never put in a request or anything, so he's not joining us. And I think honestly, what happened? So we were out. I think Mikey probably told you earlier. We were out in Arizona, not for the game, but for an event. So it was Jets Cardinals. Mikey A and Stugotz were in their Jets gear. I was in my Cardinals gear because I'm a member of the Bird Gang now. So I was rooting on the Cardinals the entire game. And I think what happened is they were not happy with the outcome. So as a result, we ended up not requesting your brother come on because he kind of ruined their Sunday for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were gonna ask him to come on if it was a Jets victory.
No, I was gonna. No.
Yeah,
We wanted him to come on. We wanted him to come on regardless. But I think what ended up happening was because it was such an utter embarrassment by the Jets on behalf of your brother. Then that was thrown out the window because they didn't want to see him because he kind of ruined their weekend.
Got it. Yeah. That's understandable.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah.
Carl Douglas.
That's a Stugotz move, right?
Yeah, of course it is. Yes.
We're
Stugotz is
learning.
very strong. Yes. They're learning very quickly. Carl, I want you to make a ruling on this. We need you to make a ruling on this. We're going to start
All
this without K-Funk, okay? I'm not waiting
boy.
here, okay? So,
Okay.
Carl, from a legal standpoint, I'm going to let Mojo pick, and K-Funk gets the opposite of what Mojo picks. Is there anything K-Funk can do to us next week? Because you know he's going to be upset about it. Is there anything that he can do next week that will erase what's happening this week?
The only thing I would think he could do would be the next week he picks and gives Mojo his picks, the opposite of his picks.
Okay.
I'm okay with that any week. I accept.
All right, Mikey A., what's your suggestion here?
No. He can erase last week's picks, this week's picks, if he wants to, if he brings on Verlander and Kate Upton.
Okay.
Oh, so, okay, you're saying if he has a bad record, he can make that bad record go away by bringing on Verlander and Kate Upton.
One alone is not enough.
No, one alone is not enough.
So, Mike Wallace, are you good with this arrangement? Are you okay with this?
Yeah, that works for me. Yep.
Okay, Carl, are you good with this arrangement?
If he can do that's fine with me. I want to see Kate myself.
Okay. Not Verlander, huh?
Who?
Mojo, are you okay with this arrangement?
I will forever be okay with any arrangement that allows me to pick opposite of K-Funk's picks. It's a guaranteed minimum 4 in 1 week for me. So that's how bad he is.
All right, but you're making the picks this week, so you know, okay?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I should be a good guy or not.
Well, think about what K-Funk would do and do the opposite, okay?
Yeah, but if he just stays in last place, it's not even funny anymore. It's just like sad / pathetic, right?
Well,
so
I
far
don't even feel
behind.
good talking trash about him. He's not even here.
He'll never come back if he stays in last place. He'll never come back.
You have the power to keep him happy, Mojo. Give him another 3 and 2 this week. I mean,
damn it. All right, all right, fine.
He also, by the way, as I mentioned before, he jumped over Gordy. So Gordy, while having an off season, really is doing a service to K-Funk and his mental well-being by having a worse season than K-Funk. Also, I don't think Gordy cares at all what his record is. Well, K-Funk cares.
I don't think Gordy
very
cares about
much
anything.
so. Yeah, exactly.
I think what Gordy does is he gets the tape and then he plays it in a room full of chicks while he's partying. He's like, hey, check me out on this cool podcast.
Yeah.
To impress him. And he uses it as I bet you any money in the world that's what's happening.
Yeah. No one checks the results. Doesn't matter.
Or to get out of like parking and speeding tickets with the cops. And that's why he's befriended them and brought them on the show. I know Gord. I spent a lot of time with Gord at one point in my life.
Let K-Funk know he's no longer in last place.
Yeah, I'll tell him he's not in last place anymore.
By the way.
Mike, by the way, you went hunting. How did that go last week?
It struck out.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Well, it was a slow week. I still got some meat in the freezer from last time, but it was a slow week. I probably sat for over 30 hours, and I saw about 5 deer, and none of them were shooters, as we say. So, good time in nature, good reset. Good time to let my charge on God Bless Football here as I come for Mojo sink in and get a mental reset, but no deer.
All right.
What a life you fuckers lead. You guys fly all over the country.
Carl, it was the line of the week on the entire episode last week where you just blurted out, no one on the Zoom fucking works.
Fucking amazing. That's amazing.
Carl,
I thought this was work. That's what Mojo told me. He said I got a job for you.
Carl, if you go back in time, what would you redo with your life to end up, I guess, in a different path? Like, would you become a wrestler? Maybe. What would you do?
If I'd have grown to be 6'3", I would have wanted to play basketball.
Yeah,
you've been a small basketball player.
I was the shortest guy in the 9th grade, shortest males, and I wanted to be 6'3". I had a good handle, but there you go.
Right. It worked out just fine for you, Carl. I got to be honest.
I'm not complaining.
All right, Billy. I'm going to start making picks here, okay, for the guys, and we'll see what happens with the K-Funk. We have the Ravens at the Steelers. That's the first game this week. I'll give you Share Bear's pick. He took the Steelers. I'll give you Gordy's pick. He also took the Steelers. Ravens at Steelers. Steelers are +3. I don't see Mojo there, so I'm going to go to Carl Douglas first. Carl, who you taking here?
My wife and her entire family are from Pittsburgh, so I'm taking the Steelers this time.
All right, you're taking the Steelers. Mike, who do you have here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like how chalky it's getting here, but I got to go with, I can't believe I'm picking Russell Wilson. He's like my sworn enemy. He doesn't know it, but yeah, I think that home dogs, I'll go Steelers.
What's your
Why
issue?
is he your sworn enemy?
Thank you.
Oh, just I never really bought into the whole college football rivalry except with Wisconsin. Like, I hated Wisconsin so much. And Russell Wilson came in for 1 year. And I mean, if I'm just going to be honest, he absolutely diced us up. He went like 16 of 17 for 250 yards and 4 TDs or something like that. One time I was blitzing and he got outside me. I mean, I forced him out of bounds, but he evaded the sack and gained a couple yards. It was a rough game.
Yeah. Let it
Held
go,
it against
man. I mean, let it go. I mean, so you're taking the Steelers.
Hold
here,
on
right?
to that for life. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
It's only been 12 years. I can't just let it go.
All right, so you're taking Russ here, huh?
Yeah, I'll take Russ.
All right, Mojo, you are up. K-Funk gets the opposite.
All right. Well, I also played against Russell Wilson in college at the University of Maryland, and we also taxed that ass and beat the crap out of him and his team. So I obviously cannot pick him. And as a Maryland guy, I'm not picking against Baltimore. So I will be taking the Ravens. Funk will be taking the Steelers. But seeing as how the other two guys took the Steelers, majority says that's the more popular pick, so that is the gift for Funk from Mojo.
That's why you're good at this. I mean, Gordy took the Steelers, so
Yeah, that's a bad sign. It's a bad sign.
Wait, so Mojo, when you were playing against Russ in college, if I told you then that Russ would turn into this, you would have told me what?
It's hard to say for a player to become that good at such a high level for that long. But I will say I would not be surprised that it happened.
Really?
We played them. It was a monsoon, man. You couldn't get any traction. But I remember it wasn't the best play call, but it was, I believe it was like for the game, and he was like going for a Hail Mary. We rushed 3 when they were protecting with like 6 or 7. I ended up sacking Russ 3 times in the same play. I just couldn't get there, man.
One play?
In one play, he scrambled. I'm not even kidding when I say
Right.
it might have been like an 18-second scramble. It was the longest we had the entire season. I mean, granted, we're all getting freaking triple team, but still, it was so ridiculous. They had like this offensive tackle that was like 6'9" or 10. He was massive, and Russ just disappeared behind him. You couldn't see him. Like he's just.
Now, my question is, with the advanced statistics, do you get 3 pressures on one play for that? You know,
Yeah, that's
that
a
like
good
when you get a
point.
He was
decent
padding the
offensive
stats,
rebound
Wallace.
and
Yes,
you
he
just
was-
keep putting it back up.
Like, what the hell, man?
He was padding his own stats. That is
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Pressure rate
Yeah.
skyrocketed on
Wait,
that.
Mikey A is looking for. I believe Mikey A is looking for the play right now, so we can show it.
Can you find that?
So, Rallis, you had 8 tackles the game against Russ. Not a bad game for you.
He froze again.
Yeah. And it was
No,
well
that's his
documented.
response.
tackles?
It's just that big smile that
Cut
was
out
frozen.
there a little bit.
You
Yeah.
had 8 tackles against Russ, Rawls.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, it didn't go well. I mean, we can promote that box score if we want. You know,
Right.
8
It went well
tackles.
for
That's
you.
the headline. I mean,
yeah.
when on the ESPN article, does it say Rallis has 8 tackles and loss? Is that the headline?
I mean, we could rewrite it that way. By the way, if
Okay,
you were
yeah. I think
questioning
that
whether
honestly, you know what? Now that you mention it, that was kind of the storyline coming out of that game. Was I
Sure.
had 8 tackles?
if you did question whether or not he actually considers him his like nemesis or not, you were exactly right. He was like 17 of 18 for 178 yards, 4 touchdowns, and somehow with the 4 touchdowns, you guys lost 42-13.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
That-
rough. I mean, it was like every time we sat back in cover 2, they just like out-coached us, outplayed us, everything. Just diced us up.
Which is the worst, I guess, game that you remember? Like, which do you have the most PTSD from? It's not the Russell Wilson game.
There was I mean, we got absolutely stomped in Michigan. That was probably the worst.
What was the score?
I don't remember.
Really? Wow.
55-0 maybe. Like it was rough.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Brady?
No. Yeah. Brady. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago, guys. You know.
Did Northwestern
let that stuff go?
Listen, did Northwestern ever beat Minnesota when you were there?
Northwestern did. That was a close one. That they had Trevor Siemian. Now you want to talk about couldn't believe that Trevor Siemian became. I mean, he's been in the league now for like 15 years or something.
Crazy.
And like I think he went 1 for 7 against us, and they still beat us 21-13.
Go,
Carl.
Cats. Go,
Carl,
Cats.
I got a
big
good
game,
story
Ohio
here,
State,
friend.
Carl. Big game, Carl.
I got a pretty good story, I got to say, if we're talking about worst college moments here.
Yes.
Yeah,
go
go.
ahead.
We're playing Boston College my senior year. We're at Boston College. I'm playing at Maryland. I believe the situation was if we beat them, we would go on to the ACC championship game likely if we took the dub. And I had this awesome play. I split a double team, tackle for loss, force fumble. We recover, and it was going to like seal the deal. And instead, the ref called the running back's knee down, and it was total bullshit. Like, it was so obvious. I don't know why the coach didn't throw the flag. Maybe he didn't get it out in time. The next play, they take it in for a score that wins the game, right? So we go from going to the ACC championship game, instead dropping all the way down to go to the Roadies Truck Stop Humanitarian Bowl in Boise, Idaho. I was so pissed off, right? It was like my hero moment just ripped away from me, and we're going to the freaking toilet bowl literally afterwards. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this day cannot get any worse. And I go back to my locker, and the team all showers, and they're all getting in the bus. I'm the last one to get in the showers, right? And I'm just so pissed off. And empty shower well, mind you. There's no one else showering in there but me. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if y'all remember Ralph Friedgen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big fridge.
Yeah.
Walks in, butt naked, takes the shower right next to me. As soon as I got in, hadn't soaked up, nothing, stank as hell, playing in the mud, immediately just walked out of the shower, refused to be in that situation. So had to fly all the way home smelling like ass after having my dreams torn out. That was the dumps for me. That was my worst college moment.
Smell like ass. Put it on the podcast.
So
Yeah,
the quarterback in the game, you guys lost 58-0, was Denard Robinson, but he was one of 3 quarterbacks because it was 38-0 at halftime. So they then went and replaced the quarterback 2 more times. Yeah, that's a rough one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, it seems like you enjoyed it, Mike. All right, let's get to the next game here. We have Browns at Saints. Saints are -1. Gordy has taken the Saints here. Share Bear has also taken the Saints. I'm going to go to you first, Mike. Mike, who are you taking here? Browns at Saints. Saints -1 at home.
I mean, just to diversify a little bit here and give myself some insurance. I can't pick the same as Gordy again. I mean, that's just way too risky. So I'm going Jameis Winston revenge game. I think he lights him up.
Wow, I like that. Carl Douglas, who you taking here? Browns at Saints. Saints -1.
I've already made my picks before hearing about Gordy, but I'm going with the Saints as well.
Okay, you're taking the Saints. Mojo, who are you taking here?
Well, I just arrived at a new strategy here instantaneously. If K-Funk takes all of Gord's picks, then there's no way he can get last place for the season.
Done.
That's true.
Yep.
So I feel
opposite
like
Gordy.
that's a good friend move to make.
All right, so have K-Funk go opposite Gordy?
No, to take all of Gord's picks.
Okay.
Well,
Exactly.
he's
Okay.
slightly ahead of Gordy right now, I think, by a
Okay.
game.
All right.
So he's got to have to pass him at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. So is that what
But
you want
then
to do?
that leaves what do we do with you? So are you taking opposite Gordy if K-Funk's taking all the same as Gordy?
Ooh, that's a good point too. Well, for
Right.
fun, let's I'll take the Browns for this one.
Okay.
All right, you'll take the Browns. Okay. Keep in mind, we want K-Funk to have a bad week here because we want to give him the ability to erase it to have Verlander and Upton on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been promising that for 3 years, man. It ain't happening. We got to find somebody
Well,
else.
wait until you throw an 0-5 in his face and see what the fuck happens. Okay.
We also
Again, you mean? Again.
we had something cooking for K-Funk to try to kind of get his mentals up. So it would be good if we do get that guest next week, if he's coming off of a bad week.
That's true. So many storylines. There's a lot of ways we can go here.
Poor Cape. I'm worried about him. He's never missed this segment. Let's go to Chiefs at Bills. Oh, big game this weekend. Chiefs at Bills. The game's in Buffalo. We have Gordy taking the Bills here -2. We have Share Bear taking the Chiefs here +2. Carl Douglas, I'll start with you. Chiefs at Bills. Bills -2 at home.
I said it once. I'll say it again. I'm not going against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'll take the points.
All right. Mike Rallis, who you taking here?
Yeah, they got it confirms after last week they got some black magic going on over there. I don't know if it's Taylor Swift or Mahomes or Andy Reid or what, but God, the Chiefs as underdogs, you got to go Chiefs.
It's crazy. Chiefs underdog. Mojo, who you taking here?
Gosh, man, Chiefs got the best referees in all of football, so that's helpful. Now I'm looking at this from a storyline perspective, guys. They got to lose at some point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that keeps the fans on your side. You can't just go undefeated all year. That everybody will hate you. That doesn't help the NFL if everyone starts to turn on their babies. They need everyone to like this Taylor Swift relationship. And if there was a team to knock them off, I mean, the Bills certainly qualify to be that team. So that being said, I guess I got to stick with the previous strategy of keeping K-Funk ahead of Gord. He can take the Bills and I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next game here. Bengals at Chargers. Chargers, they're playing well. -1.5. Share Bear took the Chargers. Gordy took the Bengals. Mike Rallis, who you taking here? Bengals at Chargers. Chargers -1.5.
This is a really tough one. If you look at the Chargers' wins this year, it's almost like the bottom of the draft, like the start of the draft order. Like they have hardly beaten a team that has more than 2 wins.
Yep.
But they are playing good ball. I mean, since it's a toss-up for me, I'll take the points. I'll go Chargers.
Okay. Carl Douglas, who you taking here?
Mike has said everything I wanted to say. It's a tough game. I think the Charger defense will come through. I'm a Ram fan, but I'll take the Chargers and give me the points.
All right. I like it, Carl. Mojo, who you taking here?
I'm a man of my word. I said I wasn't picking the Bungles at all this year. Plus, I just interviewed Sean Merriman for TMZ Sports just an hour ago. So I am going to take the Chargers. Plus, Gord, I think, took the Bungles too. So give Funk those guys.
Did you invite Merriman on the podcast?
Well, I think that would be a good addition for the show, actually.
I agree. Let's get on that.
For the Jets fans, is there a preferred winner here? This is a big, this is a big wild card picture game.
I would want the Bengals to win if I'm a Jets fan. Right?
Okay.
Bengals have a worse record, 4-6. Yeah, Bengals.
Yeah,
Bengals.
but you could also argue you want to let the Chargers take like the 5 or 6 seed and get the Bengals further to the back of the line.
Yeah, I'd rather get the Bengals to 4-7. I think.
Which one gives me hope? Because that's the one I don't want. I don't want any more hope.
Right.
Okay.
I don't want that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Wait, where's the AFC wildcard at right now?
The Broncos, I think, are the 7 seed at like 5-5.
So 5-5. I see what you're saying. So you just kind of concede that the Chargers. So they get to 7-3, right? And then the Jets, even if they win, they're at 4-7. You're chasing 5-5. You're not really chasing the Chargers, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
We're more chasing the Bengals than the Chargers.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. To be a Jets fan is really fucked up these days.
It's the worst. And Rawls is rubbing it in. All Rawls is doing is rubbing it in. I mean, he really
just to hear Stu go through that analysis, you hear his brain working and shit. Oh my God.
That's been my entire life, is me trying to figure out if the 3-7 Jets will make it to the playoffs.
I get it.
Unbelievable.
No.
All right, final game here. Texans at Cowboys. Cowboys, they're reeling. They're injured. +7.5. Gordy took the Cowboys here. Taking the Texans. Share Bear also took the Cowboys at home, taking on the Texans. Carl Douglas, Texans at Cowboys. Cowboys +7.5. What you got?
I've always learned from this show that you always take the points, win with a lot of points, but I hate the Cowboys. I'll take the Texans.
That
My
boy,
man.
you learn nothing.
I hate the Cowboys.
Mike, who you taking?
Is this the Sunday night game, by the way?
I think
This
it
is Monday.
Oh,
Monday night. Okay, they couldn't
Yeah.
flex it out. Yeah, so I might, this might be one of the first Monday night games that I happen to miss. But I'm going with the Texans too. I think C.J. Stroud comes back a little pissed off and dices them up.
Okay. Mojo, final pick here. Who you taking? We lost him for a second.
To keep with the theme here, Funk will take the Cowboys, and I will take the Texans.
Okay, wonderful. Let's all pray for K-Funk. We hope he returns
Seriously.
next week. I might reach out to him after this, to be
We
honest.
might have to. We should
That's
send
so
someone to
nice
his
of
house.
you.
Mikey, hey, did you find the play of Mojo?
I did not, only to learn that Maryland didn't play Wisconsin in 2011. So I didn't know it was when he was.
He was at NC State.
Yeah.
Wow.
ACC, baby.
Checkmate.
All right, before we get out of here, Mike Rallis, do you have anything to promote on the way out?
Oh,
Yeah, Rallis Regimen. Head there for your
Excellent.
customized workout program. Will get you feeling the best shape of your life.
All right, awesome. Carl Douglas, promote that big, beautiful law firm out in LA for us.
The one and only Douglas Hicks Law in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Carl Douglas with the Dodger hat, still breeding from the Dodgers World Series.
Can we get Hicks on someday?
Hey, sure. I'll get him. Sure. We get
Yeah,
Let's get Hicks.
Thank you.
Nice.
Let's go.
Get Hicks on.
Mojo, promote only the way Mojo can promote on the way out.
Well, guys, we got the best one today, and that's Mojo's company, Paragon Talent Group, who represents over 350 of the top athletes and celebrities in the world for all kinds of opportunities, branding and appearances and autograph signings, contracts, literally all of the things. So if y'all need a boost, get the boys at Paragon a call and let us hype that thing up for you. You've seen many of our talent on this show. Check us out. Paragon Talent Group. Hit us up.
All right, boys, we appreciate it. Mojo, thank you. And let's all hope that K-Funk is back next week with Verlander and Upton.
Let's do it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.